Okay, we're starting a new series of shiurim based on the shiurim of Rav Armoni Shlita. These shiurim are now going to be, this set of shiurim is in Shar Gigulim, and basically it's a translation, an adaptation of Rav Armoni's shiurim given over in English. We're going to go through Keseder with, I'm going to be using the, most of the time I'm trying to use the Shar Gigulim of Metok Midvash. We're going to have some pieces taken out from his sefer, and it'll be a good sefer to follow along with. Okay, so this sefer, this set of shiurim, a very important set of shiurim, since there's a lot of musar, especially between bin adam l'chavir, between man and his fellow man, that we could find inside the sefer, dealing with Shar Gigulim, dealing with the souls and the spiritual aspects of a person's soul. So that's we're going to start with this. We're going to start with what Chazal said in Medrash Rabbah, that there are 5 different names to the nefesh. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Now, just to explain a little bit about this, the nefesh is the aspect of the soul that actually rests, it's the lowest aspect, and it's the part that rests inside a person's liver, and the ruach is a part of a person's neshama that rests inside of his heart. The neshama rests inside of his brain. The chaya is a certain type of it doesn't actually rest inside the body. It's a part of a soul that actually surrounds his head. And the yechida, which is the highest part, is a part also that doesn't rest in the body, that actually surrounds his whole body from above his head to underneath his feet. These are the different aspects of a person's soul that he has different types of relationships to, which we're going to go into in much more depth throughout these shiurim. We're going to explain the different aspects, what they mean, and how we work on them, how we fix them, and different aspects about them. So also the root of a person's soul is actually taken from underneath the kisei kavod, and it's from there it spreads out into a person's all the way down to a person's body. So we're going to start with the piece here that's brought in the sefer. It's from the Kutei Torah, from the Arizal. It's actually brought from a different sefer, but it's a very important hakdama to understand the actual essence of a being, of a person, of a man, and how we're so different than the rest of creation, the rest of all the other animals in the world and all other creatures or creations. Okay, in the Kutei Torah it says in Parshas Kitisa, when Hashem created man in the Torah, it says, "Let us make nase adam, let us make man." So this was a plural language, like he was speaking to other people. And it wasn't said like this by any of the other creations. When Hashem created the elephant, or when He created the trees and the grasses, He didn't say, "Let us make the trees, let us make the grasses." So this is it was obviously on purpose, as in every word and letter in the Torah was very, very much very exacting. Even though here it's even more difficult, like seeming on Hashkafa Rishona, the first look that you might glance at this pasuk, you would think that it sounds like maybe there's a plural in godliness, and it allows even a lot of epicursim play a lot of games with these words, making fun of or saying whatever they say to disprove or to show strange things about the Torah which are incorrect, which aren't true. What is the real reason why Hashem uses this word and says "Nasa, let us make man"? It's for this reason. Ki kol ha'olamos ein behem koach lahasig ela kol echad es madrigaso levad. Now all of the rest of creation, all the rest of the worlds even, they only have the power to achieve their madriga, their actual specific level. V'lo nekuda acheres l'mal mehem, and not even one drop above the level that they were created on. V'lo asa ken adam, but man was created totally differently. Ki ratza kadosh baruch hu sheyasig es kol ha'olamos v'yakasher es kulam. Because Hashem wanted that man should be able to be attached and to be connected to all the worlds, and we should be able to attain all the worlds, and we should be able to attach all the worlds, to connect all the worlds together, to perfect them. Kedei shebanagaso yenages kol alamos l'tovim l'ra. And therefore, through man's rulership and connection and attachment, we should be able to lead all the worlds, either to lead them to a good direction, to a good, or to lead them chas v'shalom to bad. Because this is what Hashem wanted. So basically we're going to see in more detail in a second how man was created attached to every single one of the worlds, and when man does any type of avera, he's actually damaging the world that he's attached to, and when he does mitzvahs, he's actually perfecting and connecting the worlds that he's attached to. This is the purpose of all creation, that Hashem wanted us to specifically be a part in creation, to actually act and to be connecting all of the worlds together, which is the greatest thing that Hashem allows us to actually be a part in the creation. And therefore Hashem commanded that all of the worlds should give a part of themselves into man. Through this, through the fact that we were created, man was created through parts of all of the different worlds, we're able to attain and achieve these worlds, to raise ourselves up to the level of these very, very high worlds. We're not talking about Mars and Saturn, we're talking about the four, or the different types of worlds of Atzilus and Bria and Yetzira and Asiya. And we are able to actually achieve and to get onto these levels of these worlds, even though these are very, very high spiritual worlds. And also to fix up different things that happen in those worlds, and to attach ourselves and to attach the worlds to themselves together. And chas v'shalom, the opposite, if we don't do mitzvahs, if we do averos, then we will be damaging all of these worlds that we were created with. V'kulam yivakshu ala rachamim, and also all of the creations, all of the worlds should be looking for our benefit, should be asking Hashem, davening to Hashem for our benefit, that we should be zocheh to do good things. V'im yizkeh kulam yagilu v'yismechu bo, and if we're zocheh, then all of creation will be happy with us because we brought it to its final stage. We brought it we are able to bring the world to a stage of perfection. And when we do, then the whole world will be happy and proud of us, so to speak, that we did it when we brought them to perfection. Now this is like in detail what it means that all the different worlds gave over part of themselves, created our neshama. That Nisyachtu Azundasya, the Zerampin and Nukva, the two lower partsufim of which are different lights, two lower lights of the world of Asiya, they united together, Nisyachtu, V'nasnu lo michius apnimius shalahem nefesh, and from their internal chius, from the internal energy they created man's nefesh. A man's nefesh is created from a unity of these two lights, these two auras, Zerampin and Nukva. And similarly, the Zerampin Nukva of Yetzira, attached, combined, united, and gave man aspect of Ruach. And also the world of Bria, which is again going up in the worlds. They united, and they gave a person an aspect of neshama, which is the third level from the bottom. They also united and gave a person neshama of neshama, and this is probably referring to Adam Kadmon, which is referring to the highest aspect, which is Yechida. So again, Asiya gave us nefesh, Yetzira gave us ruach, Bria gave us neshama, and Atzilus gave us chaya. These are the different aspects of our neshama, and Adam Kadmon, Keser, which is referring to Adam Kadmon, which is another higher world, gave us the Yechida. Okay, and with this we can understand now the basis for what we're going to be we can understand what we're going to be speaking about next. So now I'm just going to start again. We're going to start with speaking about the different 5 aspects of the neshama: nefesh, ruach, neshama, chai, and yechida, from bottom to top. Vein safek. Kilo nofal kriyas hashemos anizkarim b'mikra b'vizdamen. Now there's no suffix, there's no question that these words are not, the words of these 5 different parts of the soul are not by accident, they're not synonyms, they don't mean the same thing. Even though the Medjus says that Chamisha Shemos Yesh LaNefesh, there are 5 names for the nefesh. What he means to say is that there aren't 5 words meaning the same thing. That there's, I can't think of a synonym right now. If you have if you have a synonym, a pure synonym, if it's really pure, then there's no difference between the 2 words. So these 5 different names of the neshama are not different in a sense. They're not the same in the sense that they're all names, synonyms for the same thing, but they're referring to different aspects of a person's soul. So just going back to the topic that we said before, that a person is connected to all of creation. There's a story in the Gemara about Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel. Says that when he would sit down and learn, any bird that would fly over his head would be burnt. And the lashon of the Gemara is that any any bird that would fly over his head would be nisraf, would be burnt. So the Arizal explains, I'm pretty sure it's the Arizal, that it doesn't mean that necessarily. It doesn't just mean that any bird, if a pigeon would fly over his head, the pigeon would become roasted pigeon. What it means is, or the more deeper meaning for this is, that a bird is referring to an angel. And when an angel would come close to Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel, come close to flying over his head, come close to when he was learning Torah, come in relation to him learning Torah, he would turn from an angel into a saraf. The word in Hebrew of being burnt means nisraf. The word in Hebrew is nisraf, and it also is it's connected to the word of a saraf, which is a type of angel, a higher angel than a regular angel. So he was able to turn through his learning of Torah any angel that came close to him from the level of angel to a level of saraf, which is again, we see in this story that a person is connected to all different aspects of creation, and even the angels. Since a man is connected to all the different angels, a regular angel is from one world and a saraf is from a different world, then when he does mitzvahs, when he learns Torah, let's say by Rav Yonasan ben Uziel, he actually lifted that aspect of that part of the world, which is the angels, these angels, to the level of saraf, which was a very high, much higher level of angel. Okay, continuing. Now you must know that a person, he is the neshama that's inside of his body. And the body is only the clothing on a person. And is not the actual person. So this is just to understand again, akdamas for what is the soul and what is the body. The main aspect of a person, the Rizal says here, is the body. If you want to say who are you, is the soul. If you want to say who are you, you must identify yourself with the soul and not with the body. The body, he's describing it as literally like clothing for the soul, and the real you is the soul. Now Rav Ramoni points out that it's not only that you, the soul, are the you. There is a little bit of connection between the soul. There is a connection of the soul and the body, and this connection is that the body is an expression. The body is acting as an expression of the soul, and depending on what type of body a person has, that is the type of lens, the type of expression that the soul might be able to give over. If the body is crippled or whatever, there might be a slightly different expression of the soul inside the body. But certainly, what the Arizal is saying here is true, that the main and most important aspect of who you are is specifically your soul. there is also a connection in the body and the soul, that when a person dies, he leaves his body and he actually takes a new body, literally like changing clothes. And this could happen, could have happened hundreds of times or tens of times, maybe even more, when in a person's, let's say, real lifetime, is the existence of his soul. And each time that a person goes through these gilgulim, often these reincarnations, when he takes off, undresses his previous body and dresses up in a new body, very often a lot of the things that happen to him are dependent on or connected to the previous incarnation. And because he might have sinned in a previous incarnation, he could get punished in the next incarnation, or he could suffer in the next incarnation. And when he accepts this properly and he recognizes it's all from Hashem for his own benefit, then it actually is very good for him. And often we see things that we don't understand, like children who suffer very much, and a lot of this could be dependent on the person's previous reincarnations. The person sinned and needed a tikkun and didn't get it in his previous incarnations. It could be born as a baby and even die as a child with only suffering, and that suffering is a tremendous tikkun. So we have to recognize that even though our main aspect is certainly our soul, that in this body there may be suffering, and the suffering should be accepted in the proper way, so that we can fix our soul, and we can go from, hopefully this could be we can go from perfecting our neshamas completely.